Parducci, I want to talk a little bit more about. Not only do they have wonderful wines, the fact that they're in an area just north of Sonoma, in the Mendocino area, it has a little different terroir than Sonoma has, that Napa has, and even the lakes that are out there. They all have their own little terroir. And what that really means is the soil condition, the amount of rain, the amount of wind, the temperature changes from how cold it gets to how hot it gets, all those things added together are simply called terroir. And one of the beautiful things is wines, as an example, like Pinot Noir, which was going to be our second wine today, is normally a very, very difficult grape to grow. The point I'm getting at is terroir has always been finicky. And when you find the terroir that works well with Pinot Noir, you end up with an outstanding Pinot Noir bottle of wine. And that's what we're talking about here tonight. Well, let me get over to the wine in particular that we're tasting as we speak, and that is a wine by Parducci called Chardonnay, the world's most popular white wine. Everybody that likes wine around the world seems to drink Chardonnay as one of their main wines. I'm not sure why. It doesn't pair as well with food as some of the other white wines, but it is good. And tonight, Chef John has put together something that I think you're going to taste and like, and I see everybody here is going, whoa, this is good. And that is simply a cream of mushroom soup with a little tarragon and a little sherry. And the sherry added to the mushroom soup just changes the whole texture of the taste. And then you take a little sip of Chardonnay, and you know what I'm talking about. Now, this Chardonnay, I'm talking about small lot Chardonnay from Parducci, has been under two different types of maturation. By that I mean 95% of it, I should say, 95% of it was fermented in stainless steel, and only 5% was fermented in oak. And some of the things that I happen to think are good with this particular Chardonnay is it has a really crisp, clean taste to it. It's not big, fat, oaky type of a taste, but creamy, crisp flavors with apples and pears, a little bit of tropical fruit. I think those are the types of things that you're going to find in this wine. And if you had a chance now to taste the mushroom soup, folks, what do you think? What a combination, huh? Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, Chardonnay does go with some food, not with every food, but certainly with some. One of them is salmon, and a whole lot of people love salmon just like they do Chardonnay. And when you put the two together, you usually have a pretty good combination. Salmon and Chardonnay. Now, the salmon, God knows you can fix it many ways. You can bake it, you can broil it, you can crisp it, you can pan saute it, you can grill it, you can do, it goes on and on and on. And each one of those creates a little different taste in the salmon. And so you can find what you think works well for you. And also, if you're from the northern part of Italy, as far as loving food from the Italian people, you know that the sauces that they make in northern Italy are what we call white sauces, which is a very nice combination of dairy. And these sauces, along with a little bit of butter and a little bit of flour, and made it into a roux, and then make a nice white sauce. They'll add some cheese with that, which is, again, another dairy product. And that's where that beautiful white sauce comes from. And then they add pasta to that. And you've got a really good pasta dish. Very simple. Put a little parsley on it and pour yourself a glass of Chardonnay. You're in seventh heaven. It's not a bad thing whatsoever. So those are the things in particular. The chicken I didn't mention, but chicken that goes very well with is also is a salmon, creamy soups, not just this beautiful mushroom soup. What do you think of the mushroom soup and the combination? It's pretty good, isn't it? Huh? Yeah. So that's why we're here, is to discover things like that. And I'm not sure that you couldn't go home and open a can of that Big C, you know, with the mushroom soup that everybody has, which God knows I would never do that. But if I did, I would take some wild mushrooms that I got at the store, chop them up, put them in a sauce pot with a little bit of butter, and saute them until they're just, 2 or 3 minutes, and then add them to that soup. Then you would have something that's really eatable, if you know what I'm saying. Now, I wanted to mention a couple more things about this. One of my pet peeves, as you know, over the years, if you've been listening to Wines as Yours, is I don't particularly care for wineries that end up with wines that have very high alcohol content. Well, neither do they at Parducci, and guess what? This Chardonnay is 13.5%. Now that's about as good as it's going to get and still have great taste and flavor. So that's a plus. 2010 is when the grapes come off the vine, so that's what's on the label. That's the way we decide what to put on the label. The year is when the grapes were actually grown. And then they work with them for a while, and when they put it on the market, it still shows the 2010 date. But in this particular case, it shows the 2010 date, but they worked on this until October of 2011 before they actually allowed this wine to leave the winery. That is pretty doggone good. So I think the taste is good. This is one of the better Chardonnays for a very reasonable price, and you can see it's food oriented, and I'm hoping that you think about doing that at home. All right, let's talk about the Pinot Noir for just a moment. One of the things that you almost always get when you swirl Pinot Noir around in a glass, which I recommend that you do for about 10 seconds before you even smell it, give it a chance to really get some of those aromas up in there, and then stick your nose in there and take a whiff. What do you normally get with a decent Pinot Noir? And the first thing is cherry, strawberry. Those are the two common things that happen with Pinot Noir, and it's a little bit different with Cabernet, which we're going to do here in a couple moments. Got to go to a break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about the food that went with it, and then wine number 3. So we'll be back right after these messages. Don't go anywhere.
Upgrade to DirecTV today and get the best offer ever. Get over 150 of your favorite channels. And this season of NFL Sunday Ticket is included at no extra charge. You'll get 3 free months of HBO, Star, Showtime, and Cinemax. 4 free equipment upgrades to an HD DVR and up to 3 HD receivers. And HD is included. Plus, lock in not 1, but 2 years of savings. This offer won't last long. Upgrade today and get the best offer ever with DirecTV.